Today's our topic is resources. So, in this topic, we will learn about resources, types of resources, significance of resources, and conservation of these resources for our sustainable development. So, all the elements of nature, namely land, water, air, etc., are the gifts of nature. That's why they are called as natural endowments. So, the things that we get from the nature, we will call it as a natural endowments. Man has been using these gifts since the time immemorial. They are valuable to us because they help us in our survival on earth. All the elements, all the elements on the all the elements of environment which fulfill man's need are called as resources. So, the resources are valuable to us because these resources are made by man actually, and the natural gifts were were used since the time immemorial, and we have been using this for survival on earth. Now, natural gifts, examples of these natural gifts are like air, water, land, sunlight, this all. Okay, so that's are very important things for our survival. Without water, we can't live a day also. So it's very important for us. Air also. So resources are nothing but the elements of environment which fulfill man's need, that are called resources. So early man used natural gifts such as fruits, vegetables, firewood, etc. in raw form. With progress in time, man started converting these gifts of nature into more useful articles, thereby making it a valuable resource. So, first we were using this resource in the raw form, but when we started converting these resources into the articles, so that became the resources. So what happened, we started using it for different type of purposes and reasons. Like for economic reason, we started cultivating the flowers. Nowadays we are cultivating the flowers and selling in a market, so that is for an economic reason. So natural endowment acquires values when an object is converted into things of utility. So it acquires value when the natural things are converted into things of utility, that we can use it. Value is worth of natural endowment. Value can be economic or aesthetic. So this value of this natural endowment can be for economic reason or it may be for aesthetic reason. Let's take example of it. Okay. See. For example, hydroelectricity generated from river water is for economic value, while the scenic beauty of the mountain range is for aesthetic value. Time and technology have the potential to convert any substance into resources. For example, minerals are found naturally, but when man started mining them for economic reason, they became resources. So the thing is, the natural endowments become resources when man is taking efforts to do. Means man is taking efforts to make changes in it. So not changes we can say, but nowadays what happens, see, the minerals we were getting it, we find it, but nowadays what man started mining it, so that it became for the economic reason. Now as it is mined, what happened, these minerals are found and then started selling it in the market. Okay, so that's how it becomes for an economic reason. There are some factors which are affecting development of resources. Need of people. How need of people is affecting development of resources? See, because of need of people, what happens, development of resources is increasing. Because of people's wanted things. Because of that, what we do, we started developing these resources for the peoples only. Next is cost of generating resources should be economical. Now, as this cost of generating resources is economical for economic reason, that's why these resources are developing, because everyone wanted money now, and because of that reason, for the money, they started developing the resources. Man started developing the resources. Development of resources is happening. Accessibility to resources. To access that resources, The development of resources is increasing, that also. Technical advancement to make proper use of resources. The technical advancement, like many machines are used, etc., things are used in technical way, so that we can get the proper resources, and because of that resources are again developing enough quantity for use. Now we wanted the enough quantity for use, little we don't want. So because of that, resources are developing, we want more, resources are becoming more than, means man is starting skilling himself to find the resources. Resources can become valuable with time. Resources will definitely become valuable with time, because we want it today, people want it. Awareness about presence and use of resources. We should be aware about today's presence and use these resources carefully actually. Now let's talk about types of resources. So resources can be classified into three types: natural, human, and human made resources. Natural resources. Resources that are used directly from the nature in its raw form without much modification are natural resources. For example, the air we breathe, the water we use from the rivers, lakes, etc. Natural resources can be classified as renewable and non-renewable resource. Those resources that do not get depleted even after continuous use are known as renewable resources, like wind energy, solar energy, etc. There are few resources such as coal, petroleum, etc. that may get depleted from environment due to its overuse or misuse by people. These resources are known as non-renewable resources. Such resources take thousands of years to get regenerated. So natural resources are the resources that we take from nature in its raw form. We don't do much modifications in it, like sunlight. We don't do much modifications in it. We get directly the sunlight, so that's a natural resource. The air we breathe, there is no more modifications in water we use from rivers. Okay, there are two type of resources. Natural resources are categorized. See, renewable resources. Renewable resources are the resources that will not get finished after the continuous use. Also, like the air. Air means wind energy only. So wind energy we will use it continuously 24/7. Then also it will not finish. Solar energy, sunlight. It will be also not finish. Non-renewable resources will be finished. So they are like coal, petroleum, etc. Next, we will talk about natural. So natural resources can be categorized as following on basis of the origin. They will be from where they originated. So that will be abiotic or biotic. So biotic means living things, and abiotic means non-living things. So resources are from living or non-living. That is one thing. Natural resources. Okay. So that may be from forest, crops, birds, etc. And abiotic natural resources. Okay, not abiotic only. Abiotic natural resources. It is said natural. So it is from nature. Land, water, air, minerals. These are abiotic natural resources. On basis of stages of development, the development of these resources, potential natural resources and actual natural resources. Potential natural resources are the resources that can be utilized in future. Okay, whereas actual natural resources are used today also, that are used today by humans. Now on basis of distribution, that are ubiquitous natural resources which are found everywhere, and localized natural resources are found in certain places. Now let's talk about human resource. Human resource, people are referred as a human resource as they have the capability to transfer any substance into valuable resource by using their knowledge and skill. So people are called as a human resource because we have that capability to transform, to change any substance into valuable resource by using their knowledges and skills. We can do anything by our knowledge, skills, creativity we have. The proper education and good health improves the knowledge and skills of individual. If we don't have a good health, so we can't do the things with mentality. Okay, our health is very important for that, and proper education, it's very important. Now this in turn helps to create more resources. Enrichment of people is known as human resource development. How the peoples are engaged in that. Enrichment means they are means involved in that particular thing. So that is human resource development. They are interested in that, I can say. A healthy and skilled human population is base of economic prosperity for nation. For example, Japan, in spite of being devoid of rich natural resources, is still developed nation because of its extremely skilled population. So you should be skilled. Because of that, resources will be developing, economic prosperity of country will be developing. Now, human made resources. The natural resources whose form has been changed by humans are known as human made resources. The natural resources forms changed by human beings, that is human made resources. Now, give one thing which is differentiating between human resource and human made resources. See, human resources are nothing but human, whereas human made resources are the resources which are made by human. Okay, the rate at which the resources are produced is called productivity, and the factors that influences the productivity are technology use, political and economic situations such as economic crunch, government policies, social and cultural setup, physical infrastructure available, etc. Okay, now let's talk about significance of resources. Have you ever wondered why resources are important for us or why we depend too much on resources? Let us understand the significance of the resources with the following points. So see, resources form the backbone of the economy of nation. How it's a backbone? Without the land, water, forest, air, minerals, one cannot develop agriculture and industry. So resources are backbone of economy of nation, because if there would be no resources, then the people will be not means if there would be no resources, so what will happen? The things we are using today, these books, this beds, all those things we are using today, no, they are all our resources, because these are changed by humans. The things which we get from the nature without any modifications. Natural endowments are different. Okay, natural endowments, if we would be using today also, then we won't be rising up, our nation won't be rising up in economic region. Okay, so it's very important for creating these resources as it forms the backbone of the nation. Now, resources such as air, water, forest, and various life forms constitute the natural environment. Okay, so this is nothing but the resources which are which constitute for the natural environment, which are essential for human survival and development. So the resources air, water, forest, this all resources are very important for the survival of humans. Now, utilization of natural resources has enabled us to make various human made resources which are essential for happiness and comfortable living. Now we are using it natural resources, so it has enabled us to make various human made resources. That's why we are using natural resources only. So because of that, we are not interested in making human made resources, so which are essential to make which are essential for our happiness and comfortable living. Now see, 5 hours we will see, there are only 3 hours actually: reduce, reuse, recycle, but 2 are added. See, reduce means use less and do not waste resources such as water, electricity, food, etc. Reuse means use resources for more than one time, reuse it, use it again and again, like paper, minerals, etc. Recycle, modify and use waste material in new form like glass, tins, and etc. Make something new of that. Now, refuse, say no to the things that are not needed. Think before you buy or purchase products such as plastics. So, think before you purchase anything that's not waste at your home, that will be not wasted at your home. Okay, repair, fix or try to repair products before throwing them away. Got it? Now let's talk about conservation of resources. Conservation of resources means judicious and planned use of natural resources by avoiding their wastage, misuse, overuse, damage, and destruction. So conservation means to conserve that resources to avoid misuse, overuse, wastage, damage, and destruction of that resources. Depletion of resources is a matter of great concern today. the resources are getting finished. Many animals, plant species have become extinct because of same reason. Misuse of land. We are not using the land in a proper way. Soil and water resources cause pollution and render them useless. It's necessary for renewable resources to get enough time for renewal before it's used again. So renewable resources should be used, it should get enough time to get renewed or used it again. For this reason, balance should be there in between the growing population and utilization of resources to conserve the future use. Now, any economic development that is conducted without the depletion of the natural resources and saving them from future use is called sustainable development. So, any economic development that is conducted without finishing or without decreasing the natural resources and saving them for future use is sustainable development. So see, we are cutting the trees. What we are cutting trees, forest we are cutting and making the furnitures at our house. So that's not sustainable development because we are depleting the natural resources in that way. Okay, so we should not do that. That's the thing. So thank you everybody. Have a nice day.